Hey everybody, welcome back to
MILFta.
Today we're just gonna be doing a mom check-in or just a self check-in. Like for real, y'all, we need to really be checking in on each other, do your self-evaluation check-in, and checking on your friends. I think 9 times out of 10 you'd be thinking like, dang, I don't want to be, up on somebody, all in their business. But sometimes people really be needing a lifeline for help, for somebody to be like, are you okay? Like, you seem distant. Your attitude seem a little off. Your vibe is weird. And it's like that may very well be the help or the end that they need to, start expressing what they're feeling. So checking on my 2 good girlfriends right here. How are y'all doing?
I would say I'm okay. I'm gonna say okay.
Is it a good okay or is it a bad okay?
It's a adult life okay. Like we all have problems. We all gonna struggle. So it's I'm making it. I don't think nobody perfect. Nobody live a perfect life. So you can't say my life is perfect because you're not. Everybody go through stuff. So I would say okay. We all got struggles. It's just about how you go get through them.
Right.
So how are you getting through
them? Therapy. Therapy.
Do you do therapy every day or like once a week?
So at first I was doing it was I doing it once a week or twice a week? No, I was doing it once every 2 weeks, I think I was doing, or once every week. I think I started doing once every week. And then once I felt like I was making progress, I started doing once every 2 weeks. And this round, it's been a while. It's been like a whole month. And literally,
do you feel the difference since it's been a month? Like you feel like okay.
I had a meeting and I cut my fingers out at the urgent care, and I was on the phone with her. I was like, no, I really need to talk to you. Like, I literally talked myself out of 2 mental breakdowns. And I'm like, if I about to go through another one, I'm going to break down. I'm like, I need to talk to you. So she literally sounded, I'm gonna work with you. We was on the phone the whole time I was in the urgent care. And then I had to hang up because I had to get my stitches. So she's like, I'll wait or whatever. But it took so long. So, and I'm like, it was past her hours. So I was like, we'll just reconvene. So she ended up squeezing me in for next week. So yeah.
So if she wasn't available or if she didn't pick up, who is another source of a person that you could talk to so you don't have a breakdown, honestly?
I started writing in my journal. I write in my journal and I write in my notes on my phone. I literally just let it all out. And sometimes I just feel like I just need to cry it out, and I'll just legit cry it out because sometimes I feel like it makes me feel better just getting it out. So much frustration, anger, just all the emotions that I'm going through at that time, just getting it out just feels better. But sometimes that don't work either. I still be like, oh, just reading it and I just keep crying. Sometimes I'll talk to Eben, or I'll call one of my friends that I met at Coppin. We really close. So sometimes I'll call her and I'll just cry, and she just always a listening ear, just listen to me vent or whatever like that. But
that's good. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What would be your other outlet other than your therapist? Now, question, is your therapist Black?
So when I originally first started therapy, I started with a white therapist, and at that time I was still going through postpartum depression, and I found her and I went with her because she was the only person that I could find that kind of had a similar story to me, which was weird. She had preemies in the NICU, so I feel like I could relate to her on that aspect. And at that time, I feel like that's where a lot of my emotions were coming from, having a child in the NICU and just pregnancy, everything I went through after birth, period. I just feel like I could relate with her on that. So I went with her, but not to say I didn't like her because she did help me in a lot of ways. She did, but she did not understand the culture or the background that I came from. So when I would express to her certain things, she'd be looking at me and I'm like, let me stop talking because she is so shocked. But then, so after her, I was like, I need to find a new therapist, one I can really relate to. One I can be like, sis, like this happened. And she'd be like, yes, sis. And like, that's my therapist. Like legit, I talk to her like she my friend. Like I got so comfortable with her. I like get on the phone like anything. She'd be like, you on here looking like that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even care. But like
How old is she?
I want to say she might be in her late 30s, early 40s.
Okay. So that's like a good girlfriend.
Yeah. So
do
like,
you feel like therapy, I know therapy is effective, but in a sense of, say I'm working through something with someone that I had something with that I feel like triggered the way I interact with people or whatever. Do you feel like it's effective if both parties aren't there? Because I may have experienced it one way, but their experience may have been different, or they might have been like, I didn't even think that it was meant that way. So by her counseling me, she's only hearing one side of the story, so it could be biased. And she's like, oh, well, no, and then a person really come and explain it, but like, I wasn't trying to do that. That wasn't what I was thinking. Or it's not like,
it's not really like that. It's not like, it's not like she's telling you what to do, or like, I don't want to say she's not giving you advice, because she is technically giving you advice, but she kind of help you work through stuff. So for example, for me, like I had a big issue with somebody, and I had a hard time getting through it, like forgiving that person, just allowing that person in my life, period. Like I was just like, I don't want it, like no. So like I told her my side of the story, and it wasn't like, oh, you right, like she wrong. It's not like that. It's like, well, how can you personally get through that? Like how can you let go of this anger? Because like even though they may have done that to, they may have or may not have done that to you, it's causing this anger and stress inside of you that you don't need. So what can we do to work through that? So it was like, she helped me with that. Like she helped me release all the anger, figure out the root of it. What is really making me mad? What is really making me not want to have a relationship with this person? Like what is it? And she helped me find that. And she helped me take a step to actually having a conversation with this person without arguing, without fighting and all of that. Like it helped me take a step in that relationship for a better relationship, a more healthy relationship. And I think
that's so important, because sometimes it's not for that person, it's for you. You know what I mean? It's for you. Yeah. It's
all about how to make you a better person. Like that's what I feel like therapy is about. It's all about making you a better person. Now, when I think about going to therapy with somebody else, me and Eben have done that. And I think it worked. And it's more so like for us, it was more so of a communication thing than anything. It wasn't more so of you, like I said before, you right, she wrong. Like it wasn't that. It was like, how can y'all sit back and communicate and hear each other and come to a mutual ground without saying you're wrong. Like where can we come and say and understand where each other is coming from? Like that's more so when you go with couples or somebody else, that's more so what therapists do. They try to have you, meet at a mutual grounds where though you can understand each other.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ash. I'm sorry, you were going next.
I guess you could say I'm doing good. I'm maintaining. Like T said, it's adulthood, so you're gonna have issues and you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days. But I think right now it's more of me trying to navigate through motherhood, being a wife, having my own business, being an entrepreneur, having energy, getting sleep, eating, trying to lose weight, trying to get back to myself. Like today, I was supposed to start going back to the gym and working out. Like before I had Mila, I used to go to the gym every day, literally every day. But now that's different, of course, because it's not just me. I have to get up and have to get her ready. So tomorrow is my first day of the gym or at the gym. So, I mean, it's fine because I've learned how to deal with it and how to navigate through, okay, I can't do what I used to do. But it's like, Dag, I really got to take a step back and breathe for a second because I was so overwhelmed this morning. I was so motivated to go, so happy to go. And then it was just like, you know what? So I was in my car, took the biggest U-turn. I said, I'm going back home. I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I'm hungry, I have a headache, let me go home and get myself together. But today we ended up enjoying a beautiful day, and which made it even better. Like, I wasn't upset or down or anything, but it was just like, I really have to take a step back sometimes and realize that actually you can't do everything. Mm-hmm. But I'm good. I'm maintaining.
I think both of y'all made key points. Y'all said that it's adulthood, it's adulting, like trying to figure out what that is. Well, guys, we have a guest, my cousin Tasia. She is a new mommy, and we're going to be getting all the details about being a new mom, starting a new business, boss mom, being pregnant during COVID. But we're just doing a little mental check-in right now, Tasia. So we definitely are going to do a check-in on you. But also, I just wanted to say, from what both of you were implying, like being adult, we see that the hurdles, the obstacles that come with it. And I feel like sometimes now that we're adults, can you sit back and give people more grace? Like, dang, like I didn't really know it was this hard. Like, I didn't really understand the depth of what you were going through. I get it now. Like, I understand. I might forgive you if that's what's needed, because I feel like you don't know until you experience it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I do partially. I think it's depending on what we talk about, but for the most part, yeah.
Why would you say partially?
Because it's just some things I just feel like some things I just feel like it could have been better. I think it was a choice rather than just the struggles, but that's just me personally. Just with certain things, but I feel like for the most part, yeah, and especially when my mom being a single mom, I totally get it. Like, it's hard with me having help, so I can't imagine what it would be like by yourself with two kids. Like, so I can
two
say
small kids. And one child that was busy.
The devil.
Wait, what was the question again?
Do you give people more grace now? Because both of y'all gave the example of, like, we were been doing mental check-ins and y'all was like adulting, like, but like, are you giving people more grace now that you see like it ain't easy?
Yeah, I think I do now. I think it's now more of, okay, I'm not even going to expect the small stuff, because I think it's more of on like how I view what I'm going through. It's like, all right, do I really want to either lose this person, or do I really want to go through some issues with this person? Like, is it really worth my peace? Is it really worth my presence and my energy? So it's more like I think selfishly in that type of situation sometimes, depending on the person. But yeah, I guess you could say that. Like, I do give people more grace, but it's more on a selfish tip, because like I said before, and I've been saying it, I'm protecting my peace. I'm so serious about it. So if it's going to come and interrupt my peace and what I got going on over here, sometimes I may entertain it, depending on the person and the relationship that we have. Sometimes I'm not. So I think I do also, I do give people grace. I should say that. Yeah. Make a long story short.
I'm gonna be the last person to go before we let our guests go. So I guess right now I'm in a season of just choosing me. And I think ever since I was younger, and naturally I'm a nurse. I love to cater to people. I love to take care of people. And I have learned that I have given so much that I have nothing left for myself. And at this point, so many things that I've tried to intercede or put myself in, and I'm like, Courtney, you are literally hanging on by a thread. You have to let people figure things out themselves, not always be at every beck and call. Literally, my godfather was like, you're Johnny on the spot, Courtney. Like, anytime somebody needs you, you're right there. And sometimes I don't always receive that back. Not that I'm looking for it, but it would be nice. But I'm just learning that in this season for me, as a 30-year-old woman, I need to choose me. And that is the only way that I can be the best me for my son, because he needs me to mentally be okay. He needs me to not be drained and I feel like, oh, I can't play with you. I'm just too tired, or this, that, and the third, or I have a baby. I can't be lugging him out in the middle of the night, running here, there, for people. that may not even do the same for me. So it's not that I want to change that about me, because I feel like that's a great quality, that I am always reliable. That somebody would think of me to be a Johnny on the spot. Like I could call Courtney for anything, but I'm trying to choose to focus on me, find what makes me happy. Like I think I texted T this one night at work, like, I love being a nurse, but I want to do something else. Like what else, how else can I be impactful and help people, you know? Because being a bedside nurse it drains you, you know, it wears down on you. So I'm just trying to focus on me and do more things that make me happy, that make me smile, and say no and be okay with it, and not let it weigh on me like, dang, like, should I have, or could I fit time in? Like, no, I'm tired. No, like, I can't do it.
Right.
So,
I gotta say, he need an applaud, because we was literally just talking about that, like how Courtney is like literally there for everything. Like she get off work, she there. She gotta go work that night, she's still there. Like you're always there. Like I know me, like if I'm working that night, don't ask me to come nowhere the next day, because I'm sleep. Like, but Courtney is gonna be there, and I applaud you for that. I was gonna ask you a question. So I think it's so good that like you're able to recognize and actually put yourself first before everybody, especially becoming a first-time mom, because I think it's so easy for you to lose yourself and becoming a mom, because you're trying to figure out how to be a mom, what he needs, like all of that. It's so easy to lose yourself. And I think it's like amazing that you were able to like recognize that you were like losing yourself. Because I know for me, I didn't recognize that. I had other people had to point it out to me that I was like a little and going a little.
I don't even know if I was losing myself or more just burnt out.
Yeah.
Because I was just really burnt out. Right. Like I was just tired of trying to keep up with everything I got going on, keeping up with everybody else got going on, making sure everybody else good. I'm like, I'm burnt out. Like I gotta cut it at some point and just be like, no.
Yeah. So I have one other question. So how now that you're putting yourself first, how now will you deal with people who like are used to expecting to count on you and you're like, no? And they like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, how now do you deal with that? Because they're always, they know that you're always laughing. Yes. So like, how do you deal with that now?
I don't know, because I don't know if I have yet to do it yet. Because I still feel like I still will be like, all right, I'll do it. So I haven't yet practiced it, but I'm just saying I'm doing that for 2021.
Let's start tomorrow.
Yeah, I start tomorrow. You know, it's always a new day. So I'll check back in on 2021, New Year's Eve. All right, Tasia. So we are up next. We just want to check in with you, being a new mommy. How is mommy life?
Ooh, it's so different.
Right? Like, don't you feel like this is totally different than what I might expect?
So
good
different.
And bad.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's the good definitely outweigh the bad. It's just different because I'm so used to just being able to go and leave when I want to and just up and leave, you know, all of that. So when I'm not able to, it's kind of like, hold on, like this is different, or you know, or it's like, oh, I gotta get me and her together, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely different. It's a lot, it's fun, it definitely is fun, but she's so young, so I can't like do too much fun stuff with her, but I still try to make it fun with her. But it's also it's draining too. Like people always make it seem like, oh, it's so bad to say that you're exhausted or you need a break from your child, but I say it every chance that I need it, because like if I'm exhausted, like you said before, how am I supposed to, you know, tend to my baby and give her what she need and all of that stuff? So I say it. I'll call my sister or my mom or her dad and her be like, I need a break. Like, I need a break. I don't care how nobody feel about it, look about it, but like, it's hard. Like, it's hard because, you know, it's just different. So I
wonder why,
you know, because as a new mom, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Ash.
I want to know why people feel as though it's so bad for the mother to break away for a hot second. Like literally, the baby is not out of my heart, out of my mind. I'm not.
And you think about your baby as soon as you leave her, like
as soon as like you want her right back. Like that's how it is, and it's just like we really mentally and emotionally need to get away sometimes.
Yeah,
and regroup. And there's nothing wrong with that. So for everybody that feel like it's something wrong with that, check yourself.
Exactly.
No, I was just going to say, like, I commend her for saying that and being a new mom, because I feel like you get scared because you, like you said, you know what, I didn't want people to look at me and be like, dang, like, girl, you just was crying and weeping and begging God to bring him home for NICU. Now you need a break. So I was like, just at home by myself crying about it and not, expressing it and saying anything. And I think just the other day I told my mom how, like, I left the house and wasn't gonna come back because I was that burnt out, that drained. And she was like, don't you ever, if y'all know my mom, she's so extra, don't you ever do that. You bring him to me. And I was like, I wish I would have knew that, going into it, but I just was like so overwhelmed, and I was like, I gotta leave. I'm tired.
It get like that.
That's how, and you like be so scared to like vent to people because, like you said, people going to try to judge you. But I think people automatically look at mothers as the nurturer, the stay at home. You got to do everything, and it's just like, what about me? Like, I'm taking care of the whole house, but when do mom have time? Like, I don't think nobody looks at that. They just automatically look at mom as nurturer, and you got to be there, and you got to do everything. Like,
definitely. Before we really dig into Tasia and being pregnant during the pandemic, we're gonna do our last mommy check-in, Monty. So, how are you doing, sis?
I am doing fine. I am currently trying to start a new curriculum for mamas.
How is that?
It's not that bad. Because I made her first one when she was like, what, one, going on one. And I think that one was more stressful because it's like teaching a baby, and it's like everything, kind of the beginning of everything. So this one is more so.
Well, can I get that curriculum? Thanks.
That's what I was about to say. What is the curriculum?
No, seriously, I want it.
Yeah, okay. I get a book.
All right.
Everything is in there.
What is it, if you don't mind me asking?
It is English and Spanish, and it's numbers, colors, a bunch of different activities in there where matching. I'll make Bud name because it has her name, and it has the little Velcro things to spell her name out. But I do Bud.
You could do Robert, so he know his real name.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do Bud. This is a little bit of everything, to be honest.
Did you make it yourself? Because I know I made one for but did you make like the activity pages yourself, or did you get them like you made them yourself?
Some of them I made myself, and then some of them I get at Dollar Tree. This is where I get all my supplies. I get everything from Dollar Tree. I get the little booklets that they have. They have numbers, colors, shapes, everything.
You gotta try Five Below too. They got like a lot of books like that.
Okay.
And Target.
Yeah.
Their little aisle. No, the little aisle.
The Dollar Tree got the ones for $1, and they have literally everything.
You gotta go into that aisle when you first walk in.
Oh, the little that little section that they have.
Yeah.
This one that I'm doing, she is currently learning how to read, and spell, and addition. So that's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's nice.
And just to plug on my niece, she is so smart and she picked everything up. So I know she about to kill it.
Yeah, she is about to be reading the text messages now. So
she literally just learned my phone number. So
yes, she's into that now too, learning people. Like she'll go through my contacts and like look at the name and the number. She's trying to learn everybody's name and number. So yeah.
Go ahead, information.
All right, Tasia. So we back to you now. How did you feel when you first found out that you were pregnant during the pandemic?
Girl. first I thought so. My dad's birthday. I found out the next day after my dad's birthday. Y'all know my dad crazy. He had this Jamaican party or whatever. So we was all in there drunk. So I was like, I don't feel right, but I wasn't drinking that much. So then I know my body like clockwork. I know it's something right. I know it's something wrong. So I'm like, something not right. I said, but I'm just worried about it tomorrow. Tomorrow came. I'm like, I didn't even drink that much. Something not right. Like, I don't understand. So I go to Walmart, I go get a test, and they both came back.
Was
like,
you scared of body test?
No.
Girl, I was so nervous. I went to self-checkout.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, listen, no, I was not, because I needed to get the bottom of this, what was going on, because I don't know why I feel like this. I had to go. So I get in the line, I pay for it. It is weird. Like the lady at the register did look at me, but it's like, we women, like, it's a part of life. Like, what's right. So really, if you really sit and think about it, like, what's really weird about being pregnant? Like, right. So they both came back like error though. So I'm like, oh, there ain't nothing wrong. I'm fine. I still was feeling sick. So I'm like, nah, something's not right. I have to go get another one. So I go to the Target near me. I go get tests from there. At that time, I did go to self-checkout because I'm like, let me see what's going on. So I went to self-checkout. I got home. Soon as I feed on the stick, right back, 2 lines. I was like,
can I just say this real quick? That just goes to show you Walmart is not it. Target
exactly. And Target is where it's at. Exactly.
Wow.
I feel the same way. And it's funny because I guess I was a little nervous because like I was always at the Target near my house. So I guess I was like, I didn't want them to see that I was buying them at first. So that's how I went to Walmart, because I don't really go to Walmart like that. So I don't know what made me go to Walmart.
It's for red kids.
I did not know. So I found out I was stuck for a second. So we wasn't like her, because I had went out, so we wasn't with each other, her dad. So I'm like, darn it. So I'm waiting for him to like call me or whatever. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, nah, I gotta say something first. So I text him and just send him a picture. So then that's when he ended up FaceTime with me, but he didn't even see the picture because like we wasn't seeing each other, like, we call each other first thing in the morning. So he's smiling at me. I'm like, what you smiling at? Like, he's so happy. Good morning, baby. So I'm like, good morning. Like, I'm like, you ain't get my text? He's like, no. I said, go look at your phone before we go any further. He looked at the text message. He get back on the phone, still smiling. I'm like, what is wrong with you? He's like, you're pregnant. I'm so happy. So I'm like, oh my God. It was crazy though. It was crazy because like finding out during the pandemic, like I was sick all the time. Like I was trying to keep it as secret as possible. So like I wasn't really telling people, and I was working at the time. And so I would be at my desk like sick, like getting nauseous and all that. But this when COVID got real big. So my job was at an alarm company. So when stores start closing, we started losing money in our company or whatever, because people wasn't paying their bills, like our new up and running stores that we put security systems in and stuff like that, like they start stopping. So it was kind of like, what we gonna do about a job? So I had got laid off when I was like 4 weeks pregnant. So I'm like, oh my God, I done got laid off 4 weeks pregnant. Like, what am I going to do? Like,
because I'm not laughing at you getting laid off. I'm laughing at this nut.
What is Courtney doing?
Like I was laughing at you getting laid off while you was pregnant.
No, I said, when she said people wasn't paying their bills, I said, money.
Listen, why she telling your business like that?
I get an extension on Pico. Girl, pay that bill.
Listen, no, because they was giving out extensions to everybody. Look, you utilize them, all that. Utilize them.
Not during the pandemic.
Listen, exactly. All you had to do was keep saying was, I'm affected by COVID, and they was giving you extensions and all that stuff like that.
That's crazy though. So you got laid off during it.
Yeah, I was 4 weeks pregnant, laid off. So I wasn't really stressing about it. So they was all in there because I was a really good worker. I was like one of their top ones, but I had just got promoted to I was in this department called service, and I had got promoted to installation. So of course, out of common logic and common sense, they want to lay me off because I'm a new person. I had to train in and all that stuff like that. It was a lot of us all together that totally got laid off or whatever. But they was in there crying like, I'm so sorry. They didn't know I was pregnant. They was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm really not an emotional person. So I'm looking at them like, but I'm pregnant. So I'm like, this is making me feel uncomfortable. My eyes start getting teary. Like I was about to start crying with them. But just because of them, like I wasn't really sweating the whole laid off thing. Like not really. Then I left out. I'm like, oh my God, I just got laid off and I'm carrying baby. like what's my something happened. So I call my mom and my sister. We on a group FaceTime. I'm like, I just got laid off, but I play so much and I'm such a jokester. So they're like, girl, stop lying. I said, no, y'all, I really got laid off. Like, this not even funny or whatever. Mind you, they did know I was pregnant, my mom and my sister. So then when they start talking to me and start getting all emotional and shit, they're like, oh my God, well, we're here if you need anything. I'm like, oh my God, I really did just get laid off. Like, what am I going to do? It was just crazy. So to me, like, pregnancy, it was like a shock. Like, when I first found out, I was so shocked. And then, like, it had me acting different because I'm not emotional. It had me crying about other people's problems and little stuff that other people were super emotional about. So I was just, like, shocked. Like, for a good, I'm going to say for a good, like, 4 or 5 months, I was shocked during the whole pregnancy.
So how was it when you got closer to your due date wearing a mask? Like, how was that? Because I know for me, just regular, I can't breathe sometimes. Like, I want to take it off.
Oh my God, it was bad. Like, I really felt like I could not breathe. Like, I didn't want to stay in the house all the time. So the only stores that was open was like the market and Target. So I was always at the market and Target. So I would be literally in there. First, as soon as I woke up, I'm at Target. And then, like, I leave the house again and go to the market. And, you know, y'all wear your masks and stuff. So I'm in there walking around wobbling like, so I go sit in the corner or to the side somewhere and I put my mask down, like, when people not around me. But it was really hard. Like, it was really hard. Like, because it's hard to breathe. I was having trouble breathing when I was home pregnant because the baby being on, like, your lungs and all that, like, just your organs being pressed in. So when I you know, had to go in the stores, it was hard. It was real hard.
So what was it like when you gave birth? So I don't know if this was for you, but I know some moms were saying how they had to wear a mask, like, while giving birth, like while they were in the hospital. And what was it like not only being, I don't know what hospital you had your baby at, but I know most were only like allowing one person in. So how was that?
So delivery and with the mask, I had to wear the mask. I delivered at Penn Medicine on Spruce Street, that hospital, and they made me wear a mask. When I was pushing, I had the mask, but I had it just over my mouth. Like, listen, if y'all all got masks on, and if it's over my mouth or whatever the case is, you know, I feel like we're okay. Like, I'm having a baby. Like, how y'all even expect me to even have this mask on, like, while I'm pushing and having a baby? So I was in labor for 29 hours. So to me, like, I was just like, I had it down for the most part. Like, I didn't care. Like, y'all covered. Like, I can't do this. I can't breathe. Like, y'all covered. So, you know, the doctors and nurses, they always cover it. And I was only allowed to have one support person in the room with me. And that kind of bothered me because, you know, dads is dads. Like, they're not like your mom or your sister. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all like, oh my God. So I had an epidural, so I was itching like crazy. So, because I tried to hold out as long as possible without getting an epidural, but I was in labor for 29 hours. So for me, it was just like, you know what? And they was like, oh, you're not having her tonight. You probably won't have her in the morning. I didn't end up having her until that night, the next day, that night. So I'm like, oh no, y'all gotta give me an epidural. Like, I can't do this. So I start itching real bad. So I'm like in there like crying, like, oh my God, I itch so bad. Can you please just rub my back and rub my feet? And, you know, like, just crying, like, I itch or whatever. And you know, like, he'll like itch my back and stuff like that. But you know, if like your mom or like your sister was there, like, they'll really be like comforting you and stuff like that. So it was definitely different. And I'm not going to take that from him. He did a good job in the room with me and all that. But it just still was just not the same. Like, you know, I just didn't have that, like, mom and daughter, you know.
Yeah. I went back and forth with, I was going to have my mom, and I was like, I'm so glad I had my mom, because I don't know what Rob was doing. He was in his own world. He was trying to pull the baby out. Court, I can see his head. Come on, man, for real.
Oh my God.
Get from down there.
So you was allowed to have 2 people?
Yeah. Well, how many people pretty much you have? 2. So yeah, him and my mom were in there.
Yeah. Definitely, that's the only thing. And not my mom, because my mom crazy. When we was, when my sister first had her son, it was me and my mom. Girl, she was asleep. She pretty much missed the labor almost. I'm like, Mom, wake up, he's coming. So I was like, Mom, you not going. This is before I even knew what the regulations was, because everything was changing, because I had her in November. So that was like the end where they start being more flexible with like stuff. So I didn't know if they were gonna change it to 1 or 2 yet. So I'm like, Mom, if I had to choose, like, I'm not taking you, I'm sorry. So she's like, all right, that's fine, like whatever. So it's gonna be my sister, and she is very motherly. She swears she's my mom. So it was just gonna be like having my mom there and stuff. And that was the only thing that like kind of got to me. I didn't have her there with me to like really comfort and have that mother like feeling there with me.
Were you scared, like, after having the baby by it being COVID, like just being in the hospital? Or if I know, like, when I didn't have my baby during COVID, but they would have to take him out and do like the ear testing and do different baby checks. Were you just like nervous for her to be out of your sight with everything going on?
Don't look at me wrong, but it's not that I don't take COVID serious, but I just felt like I didn't think about it that hard, you know, like I thought about it, but I didn't. Like, I didn't think that, oh, they're gonna bring my baby back and we're gonna have COVID, she's gonna have COVID and that, because the way that the hospital was like during COVID, it was really restriction. Like, you literally, it had to be the same person. They didn't even want your support person to really be leaving in and out. Like, you really had to stay confined into your room. Like, it was like no, all these extra people walking around. It wasn't, the babies couldn't just stay in the nursery all the time. Like, they would take her. I was so tired, like, after having her, and her dad had to leave. So I was like, can y'all just take her while I get in the shower? So they took her, and I was very like, I wasn't really too nervous because of how the nurses cared for me. Like, I would literally give Penn, for the most part, like 4 or 5 stars, like with everything, 5 being highest, because the way they took care of me, you know, the cleanliness of everything. So maybe that's why I feel like I didn't need to stress about it. And being a new mom, you're not saying you're not worried about COVID, but you're worried about your baby. So it's just like, as long as she okay, and you know, everything with her is together. And then I was more so worried. I watched way too much Lifetime, y'all. I was scared somebody was gonna come in the room and steal my baby from me. Like, I really was like, so that was the thing. So when the nurses would switch off, I would like need to know who the nurses was, who my nurse, you know, when your nurse wasn't able to come in, another person would come in. So I'm like, who are you? Like, you know, that was more my concern than anything. Like, who's coming into the room with us? Cause I just felt like they really had like the cleanliness part like down pat for COVID. So I wasn't really too concerned, like too stressed out about it for the most part. Cause they did a real good job. Yeah.
So how was it like afterward? I know like a lot of us, well, I think most of us kind of went through postpartum depression. Like, did you go through anything, like, even if it wasn't postpartum depression, like anything postpartum? Like, I know some moms said like they lose their hair, maybe get real bad anxiety. Like, I know for me, like I also had like separation anxiety with Zori being in the NICU. Like, I never wanted to be apart from her. Like, I still kind of got it now. So like how did postpartum look for you?
So when I first had her, I was good. Like, and everybody was concerned because I was good. Everybody like, you sure you're okay? They just kept asking me, you sure okay? You okay? I'm like, I feel better than ever. Like, I feel better, like everything, like mentally, like everything. I just felt better. I did have postpartum hair loss just recently though. And she's 4 months, she'll be 5 months soon. And I just like went through that. Mine. You had yours there too? Because I was freaking out. I text my friends, a hairdresser. I'm like, look at all this hair. So she's like, girl, you just had a baby. It's fine. I'm like, okay. Like, so I did go through that. And I did start to go through postpartum. I would say a month after I had her, but that was more so like personal issues and like life. So, and I felt like that caused me to go through postpartum a little bit, but I was like, a lot of people was in denial about postpartum. I did all my research on it. Like, I accepted, like, I told myself, it's okay if you get postpartum. Like, people deny it, they act like it's not okay. I'm like, it's okay if I get postpartum. It's okay, like, if this happens, it's okay if that happens. So when I felt myself going through the postpartum, like, based off my actions and how I was acting, I just would separate myself from people and just get myself together. Because like we said before, like, if I'm not okay and if I'm mad or angry or sad, how am I going to take care of my baby? So I just had to separate it. And it was different though, because it was just like, I was super emotional. Like, I was sad, like I was upset, but it was not like, because I know some people went through postpartum where like they had like ill feelings towards their baby, like they couldn't hold their baby. Like, this one girl I know that was real cool, but she's a great mom, but like her postpartum, she wasn't able to hold her baby like at all. Like, she just could not do it. So it wasn't on that type of time, but it was just more so like how I felt. My mental wasn't there. So I just had to like, you know, start doing self-care stuff. Like, and when y'all asked me how it was being a mom, and I said it was new and adjustment, because I was real big on self-care, like self-care Sundays, even if it wasn't Sunday, I'm taking care of myself. Like, I'm meditating, I'm doing all of that stuff, like everything. So I had to incorporate my self-care in. And I think that's another reason why I might have went through postpartum, because I stopped doing all that. So I feel like, you know, that might have caused it. So I had to start incorporating her into my self-care, like her in the tub with me. Or, you know, if I'm like just sitting there, like clearing my mind, like she's sitting there with me, like, or I'm pulling her, like, you know, just trying to figure out how I can like relax myself and calm myself down, balance myself, but still with her. So, but I would definitely say I definitely went through postpartum, and I've catch myself falling into it like in the beginning of the year of 2021. But, you know, I recognized it, and I just, you know, try to get it together, because I don't want to fall deep into it. And sometimes I might not be able to control it, but it's like, if I notice it, I'm going to, you know, try to do something about it.
What made you do your research on postpartum depression? Because I know when I was pregnant and having my baby, I don't think they really talked to me about postpartum depression. Like, I've heard about it, but to actually know, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is how I recognize postpartum depression. How did know to do that?
So I recognized it because my one friend, she had her baby 3 years ago, because she went on 3. My sister had a baby a year ago. So I've seen pregnancy back to back each year, and how they weren't themselves at times, you know, after they had their baby, and how exhausted that they were. And then, like you said, it was like a point during my pregnancy where I felt like everybody was talking about postpartum depression. Like, it started to become a thing. And I was so happy, because I didn't know about postpartum that much until like I did my research, and I started seeing like people that was real close to me having babies, you know, and all that. So me just seeing it and seeing a lot of people start talking about how they go through it, and like basically every female goes through it in their own way. So that made me want to like really be on top of it, because I just did not want to fall into a deep depression. Like, if I could avoid it, I was going to try to avoid it, because I know sometimes you can avoid it.
Yeah.
To slip into it. So
it is. I literally will catch myself like going into it, and I got like blackout curtains like in every single room in my house. So it was a point in time where I was sitting in the house literally with her all day long with my curtains on, covered, and it was real dark in here, and I got like a blue light behind my TV, so that's the only light that was on. And I'm like, wow, I need to open up the light, like the blinds. I need to like, you know, get some sunlight in here. I need to get my plants, like all of that stuff like that. So you definitely can slip, and then if you don't snap back, you just lose yourself. So yeah.
And it's amazing that you were able to recognize it, because like all of us said, we didn't recognize it at first, and it took us a while to get out of it. Oh, I lost my train of thought. It took us a while to get out of it, and I don't think that a lot of people realize that if you don't address it and you don't acknowledge it, like, it can go away, but you not acknowledging or addressing it, it's gonna come back, because you didn't acknowledge those feelings. You didn't like process the feelings that you were going through, what caused it and stuff like that. So I don't think people realize that, like, it can be over, but it can come back because you didn't address it.
Exactly.
And I think in the Black community, sometimes it's kind of frowned upon to show weakness, to accept maybe some mental health. And I feel like, far as me, Tasia, Imani, and Tara are actually cousins. And we come from a huge family. And I don't think it's always everybody. We come from our grandparents, Imani's, all our grandparents are, it's 15 of them. So it's a big family. So then everybody have their subset of family. So I feel like sometimes we don't always do the best job as like sharing and being like, nah, like I went through this, like whether it be motherhood, college, buying a car, buying a house, anything. Like, I think people are definitely open if you come to it, but people aren't just forthcoming being like, oh girl, well, how's this going? How's that going? I think like we were talking about before you came on, just checking on your strong friends, just checking on your strong family member, because sometimes somebody does need the help that or the knowledge that you have to help them do the phase or the stage that they're in their life.
Yeah. And I think with our family too, it's like all the women are like strong, and most of them are independent, and that's what you see. And it's like you said, they don't show weakness, because it's like most of them got kids, and they feel like they don't have time to be weak. Like, I gotta push through this for my kids. Like, I can't show them that I'm weak. I gotta show them I can get through it. So, you know, just us being able to be vulnerable and show our weak sides and show how that you can get through it and still show your weakness to other people, I think is amazing in itself.
Yeah.
So Tasia, let us know about your new business venture that you have started and any tips for a new mom starting a business.
So my new business is called Marrae's Boutique. It's right now it's just hair. We're working on clothing too. It's gonna be like a boutique of different like lounge clothes. It's gonna have like going out clothes, everyday clothes, and then of course hair extensions. You can't go wrong with hair extensions, you know. Put your weaves in. It's definitely hard because I've actually been working on this business before I was pregnant. Like I started this business like working on it since 2019, and I'm just now launching it. Like having a baby kind of like really pushed me to do everything that I really wanted to do. And like I said, I lost my job. So I'm like, I need other sources of income. I can't depend on these jobs because when they feel like they need to let you go, they're going to do that. So if you got your own business, you could, you know, like, I mean, it's not guaranteed like money, like right off the bat. Like that's another thing like I want to say. Like a lot of people think that just because you got your own business that you got money, and it's like, yeah, you have to have money, but you also are putting your money back into your business. So I just feel like being a new mom starting a business is hard because you're not working on your time, you're working around your baby. So it's like her nap time, I'm not napping, I'm working. I'm going over like inventory. I'm looking at new stock. I'm talking to you know, different vendors, just, you know, just doing stuff like that. And even if she up, you know, like as long as she like doing her own thing, like her swing, I'm still like doing business stuff. I'm communicating with different people, like getting ideas from other people, taking classes on how to like really run my business and start up my business properly. So it's definitely hard. New moms, I would just say, don't do too much, like do what you can. And like y'all said, like get your rest, like don't over exhaust yourself. Because take however long you need to do. Don't just rush and do it just because like my business that I'm doing is a very trendy business right now. A lot of people are selling hair, a lot of people are selling clothes. And I know people say like, oh, I don't want to do it because of this, or I need to hurry up and do it because a lot of people are doing it. Don't rush yourself, because if it's for you, it will be for you and it's going to work out for you. If it's for you, if it's not, you know, don't sweat it. Just find the next thing that's good for you. So I would definitely just say like take your time and really do your research on your business, because instead of doing too many trial and error, you know, things, if you do your research on the back end, it'll avoid a lot of errors and money. So that's what I would say.
That's good. What classes are you taking, if you don't mind?
Yeah, speaking to me right now because I'm struggling with a business. I'm like, how I do this? I can't do it.
You just gotta like, I just like want to know. So I'll be taking hair classes, like how to do closures. And it's like, I do hair, but I'm not a licensed cosmetologist. Like I can do hair and all that stuff. To me, if I'm selling hair, I want to know how it goes on. I want to know how to properly do this and what you need to install it, because that's more money for me. Because if you tell me, if I'm asking like what you looking for, because a lot of people don't know. They're like, I don't know, I like it long, but not too long, and and I don't want my hair, I want it to blend. So I'll be able to talk to them like, oh, well, if you get this with this kind of closure, with this, like it's the perfect length, it'll hit you there. But make sure they do it this way and use this. So it's like just doing stuff to my advantage. More knowledge, the better. Even if it's not like, I'm not a hairstylist, but I felt like it was important for me to know about hairstyles and how stylists work and how they do their hairs and, you know, stuff like that. I also took it was like a marketing kind of class, and it was called like Rich Girl or something like that. I found it on Instagram because of course all the ads pop up with things that you're thinking about and, you know, all of that creepy stuff. So I had found that and I clicked on it, and basically it was telling me how to market my business and you know, how to get your Instagram followers up and, you know, just different things, and how to grab your audience attention and stuff like that. So just a lot of different places, honestly.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
So, ladies, hot girl summer or boot up winter?
Evan looked at me, he was like,
Monty, the people want to know what you're doing this summer. Are you bringing the old Monty back? Like,
period. Period. It's up and it's stuck.
It's a hot girl summer for me. It's been a little while.
I was
about to say I want both too. I'm gonna enjoy my summer. I think it's gonna be a warm girl summer. And because I've been a hot girl. Monty, we had our hot girl days, hot girl.
But I would do both too, but It's definitely a hot girl summer.
But I feel like it could still be a hot girl summer with your boo.
Hot
Like
girl summer, booed up. Hot girl days.
A hot girl summer.
You can have your hot girl summer booed up and still do your nice girl time, girl outing,
of course.
bossed up, cute outfits. Like, yeah.
But I just feel
when I get home.
I feel like if I was single right now, oh honey, you won't be able to tell me.
But you lived already, girl. You lived.
I know, and I lived, but not in 2021. I had it. So.
You ain't 2021 live.
Exactly. I was never 30 before, so I would definitely be doing 30 dirty right now. All right, so I have a question for y'all. If you and your friend are out at dinner and their boyfriend invited himself to dine with y'all, are y'all expecting him to pay for y'all dinner?
No.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
All right, so say you and a friend are out and their boyfriend invited himself to dine with y'all. Are you expecting him to pay?
No.
For you? No.
Why
No,
would somebody even expect that?
Girl, these new girls is crazy.
It's a question going on Twitter. And the girl said that she put everything that she had down. I think her meal came to like, she was so exact. It was like 25,
I think I've seen that before, but not recently. It might have not been the same scenario, but that has surfaced on the internet before, and it was a whole thing about, if a guy should pay for the friend food or whatever.
Yeah, so it just recently came up, and she expected him to pay for her meal because he intruded in on their date. So I wanted to know and get y'all opinion on it, because I just felt like, so if you're upset, like I think, well, when I heard it, it was on somebody else's, I was listening to another podcast, and a girl went into detail with this, saying that basically they're not friends anymore because of that situation. So I mean,
just lurking in the area and just wanted sushi. Like, how did he find? Like, why is he here? But it's not an issue that he came, but it's like,
no, it's not an issue that he, like, if it wasn't an issue that he came, her issue was he didn't pay for her food.
I mean, if he paid for it, thank you. But if he don't, he don't. Like, I'm not expecting somebody else's man to pay for my food.
Right. And then, like, what were you expecting her to pay for your food if he did? Like, I don't get it. Like, why would you be upset if you not come with $26.39?
Right. Like, you not afford your meal? Like, that's what I'm getting.
But I think it's just society now. Like, society, men got to do this, men got to do that. Don't get me wrong, I'm old fashioned. So if I'm with you, like, you need to hold up your end. You need to be a provider and protector. But I feel like in that case, like, girl, no, he did not have to pay for you. And, like, just relax. Like, and then the people got to think about it. Everybody's just like not rich. Like, everybody can't do that. So it's not, stop expecting all of this because of social media and rappers and all that stuff like that. Like, stop. Like, that's the problem. It's social media getting to everybody's head, and these outrageous, unrealistic expectations that everybody have now. It's just out of control, and I just don't understand.
Friends no more.
Yeah, like, what you not friends for?
Like, what you
like, was that really your friend?
Right.
Because
like, you're weird.
Yeah. And the girls that was talking about it,
for your food that bad.
Right. And the girls that was talking about
it, now I want to fight, because now I'm thinking some other shit. Like,
but the girls that was talking about it, they were basically on her side, like, yeah, you're supposed to be paying for this, and he must be, and I'm just like, well, what? Like, how can you say
more
that?
I was about to say, yeah. And it depends, like, if that's really your friend and she knows how your guy is, like, this one guy that I used to go with, if I was out with him and all my friends, he's paying for everything. That's just the type of person that he is. But if that's your friend, you would know that. You know what I'm saying? And even if you do know that, if he decides not that he don't want to pay, he don't have to. Like, it's just not, it's no. I don't know.
I think that tweet came out, like, now that I'm thinking about it, it must have been like a really long time ago. Like, maybe like when me and Sarah were younger, because I remember she, like, you know how you can retweet somebody in a tweet or whatever, like retweet the tweet, and then she added me and was like, what did she say? Something along the line, like, I would never have to worry about this, because, like, when we were in high school, and I was eating crap, and we would like go like to a fast food restaurant or something like that. Like I will always pay, but like
we'll insert pictures of Monty eating ribs.
I've never had ribs in my life, but yeah, and I was cracking up with that. I'm like, yeah, like, but expecting him to pay, no.
Yeah.
But you know, like Tasia said about her old friend, that's just the kind
It just depends on the guy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
well, we would like to thank Tasia for coming on here and
no problem.
about her experience being pregnant through COVID. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our videos and our YouTube channel. We love to hear from you guys. If you have MILF mail, if you have any suggested topics, let us know down below or hit us up in our DM or our emails. And we'll see you guys next week.